Garland, Texas.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, you have 3 minutes to speak, ma'am, and I'll let you know when you have 30 seconds, okay?
All right,
Go ahead.
47 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation. It was conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we're engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We have met on the great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a great portion of that field as a final resting place for those who gave their lives that this nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hollow this ground. The brave men, those living and dead who struggle here, have consecrated it far above our full power to add or to detract. What I have just shared with this Commissioner's Court is a portion of the Gettysburg Address by Abraham Lincoln. In this address, President Lincoln was addressing the importance of dedicating the hallowed ground of the battlefield of Gettysburg. Fourscore and 11 years ago, on May 9, 1930, George Hughes was lynched here in Sherman, Texas, though he never had a trial by a jury, just by mob action. The Grayson County Courthouse was burned to the ground in this same riot. Martial law was declared on May the 10th, and the Texas Rangers was called in for 2 weeks. The actions of May 9th, 1930 are part of Sherman, Texas's history. These actions are a part of Grayson County's history and should be recognized and acknowledged. I am asking the Grayson County Commissioners Court to support the historical marker for the Sherman Riot of 1930. It is time for the court to have courage and to dedicate a historical marker for the Sherman Riot of 1930. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your comments. All right. And I'm sorry, I hope is it Herrera? Am I saying that correctly? Stan?
Herrera?
Herrera, I'm sorry, sir, I couldn't read the writing. I apologize. Mr. Herrera, would you come forward, please, and state your name and address for record? You have 3 minutes. Yes, sir.
My name is Sam Herrera. I reside at 1145 Old Dorchester Road here in Grayson County. I come to you today as a private citizen, having moved here from Houston, Texas, in a very different environment to move to Grayson County, and really like the environment and all the things that it offers. I'm a business owner here as well and have a lot of interest in the local community, and this item, this issue that was just spoken of, the historical marker for recognition of what took place here in 1930, caught me by surprise, frankly, because of the unacknowledgement of the issue. I moved here knowing that this was a very different demographic from where I came from in Houston, and have since felt many times here very subtle, for the lack of a better word, subtleties that fall within the community that aren't necessarily felt by most of you here. Frankly, I'm appalled that it hasn't been brought up and been brought to the agenda, just like all the items that we see here. Certainly it's important to get appropriation and approval for cutting lawns and roadways and, doing the necessary things for government to operate. But it's equally important to recognize the history that has been ignored. And if it's going to be ignored today, then what's going to be ignored in the future? This is also not the first time that this has happened here in Grayson County for this particular issue. So you guys have the burden on you at a time and place in this country that we've seen an enormous amount of upheaval, cultural upheaval that I never dreamt we would see, let alone in the last week and a half that we've seen this debacle that we've seen in Afghanistan and throughout the country, the appalling feeling that we have as American citizens. As a U.S. veteran, as a Navy veteran myself, it disgusts me, the things that we're seeing. Equally, it disgusts me that we're not having the opportunity to have this issue brought and correct the history that's posted outside of this building. And the very building that we're sitting in here right now, that was replaced as a result of
30 seconds.
The act that took place here by mob rule, not giving this man the opportunity to have his day in court. And then the subsequent upheaval of the people that lived here in this county, here not far from this location, to be scattered about into this day, it still affects this county. So I would appeal to you to get together, bring this to the agenda, and let it be spoken, let it go through the motions, and let's have it done.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your comments. Thomas Garland. Mr. Garland? How are you, sir? You just state your name. If you just state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes, go right ahead.
Sure. I'm Thomas Garland. I live at 186 Jim Lamb Road in Sherman, Texas. And I'm here today for the same reason that the two before me are here, to request for the approval of a historical marker for the Sherman Riot of 1930, which is an important part of our city's history that I'm ashamed to admit that I wasn't aware of until recently, and I think it's terrible that it's just not talked about. I've never, my mom knew about it, but she never told me. No one else I know has ever talked about it, and it's a crucial part of our history in this town. I just think that we have 8 markers out on the lawn right now for important things, and one of those just simply states that the courthouse burned down in 1930. It doesn't say why, and I think that's really misleading and a shame, and I think that it's important to have a marker to remember this crucial piece of our town's history. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. All right. Mr. Spencer? Good morning. If you just state your name and address for the record, please.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Neil Spencer. Can you?
Yes, sir, we can. You can take the mask up. If you choose, you leave it on.
Okay, my address is 1703 East Mulberry, Sherman. And I want to thank you, first of all, for your time. And I'm a proud owner of a business in Denver called Spiffy Spot Mobile Detailing. My residency in Sherman has been 67 years. I've been around a while. I'm an Air Force brat, and my father was in the military for 26 years. I've experienced many cultures, many customs. I've been around different things, different people, different ideas. But when I came back to Sherman 74, I think we went to California for a few years. But when I came back, I tried to share my entrepreneurial ideas with other folks. And they didn't seem to get it. My brothers and sisters didn't get it, didn't have a desire or intent to try to do anything in business or anything of that sort. So I pondered and I wondered why this is. And I came to the conclusion after I heard about George Hughes and the burning of the courthouse that there was a stigma, there was something that held us back from trying new things or a desire to do new things. And I said it must be because of the burning. It must have been some place on the minds of the people because the courthouse did burn. And I was shocked to find out that they didn't want to do anything. But like I said, I realized it was the courthouse burning. In May 9, 1930, not only ended George Hughes' life, but it ended the life of many black businesses in Sherman. It ended the life of many things that could have contributed to Sherman's economy and the county. And also it ran off many business people that were here. They ran away. They didn't come back. So it left a void where the people realized they're not in the community. So even to this very day, I don't think we should ignore or hide our past. We must expose it in order to move forward with a clear conscience.
30 seconds, sir.
Okay? And I believe confession is good for the soul. We the people have voted yes for this historical marker. Now history awaits your reply. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.